This is the MMA Takes Podcast. With your host, Brian Petrie.
Hey, Club 1K, Club 1K, what's good? What's up with the what's up, babe? Huh? Last pay-per-view of the year. Gotta bring the energy. Gotta bring that funk. Was a better card originally. I will be in Las Vegas. Let me start by saying this. Your boy is returning to Las Vegas after about 10 years. Last time I went with an ex-girlfriend's family, and they basically wanted to hang out at Denny's, Outback Outback Steakhouse, in the Hooters Casino. Wasn't the best time, but I discovered sports gambling, so it wasn't all lost. But I'm going back since 2012 with my best friend growing up, a dream of ours. So if you are in Vegas, if you are a Vegas guy or gal, come see your boy. Staying at Circa, downtown Vegas. I don't know if I'm going to go to the weigh-in jet on Friday. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. Floor seats, section, blah, blah, blah. I should have this pulled up. Sorry. Let me look at the tickets. Let me look at the old tickies, okay? Floor seats. I'll tell you what section exactly. I shared it on social media. You really make me log in? All right, here we go. I'll log in, bitch. Face ID. What do you think about that? There it is. Okay, UFC 282. Floor seats. Floor B. Right? Row in, and then seat 3 or 4. So if you are by the floor and you're by row B, come see your boy. Come say, what's up with the what's up? I will be wearing the club wing. I don't know if I'm wearing this to the fights. I got some fancy outfits picked out. I want to look kind of fucking dope. You know what I mean? I got some new clothes. We'll see what we were doing. But yeah, so if you're in Vegas, hit me up, DM me, whatever. We'll link up. I love to meet anybody that's out there. I know my boy Justin Gonzalez lives out there. Hopefully I can link up with him. Speaking of Justin Gonzalez, I want to get this some little minor tits and tats at the top. Then we're going to recap real briefly the Orlando card because it was insane. Go over the betting recap, whatever. But next year, so if you listen to Wednesday Takes, you heard the intro song, right? Let me give you a sample of it right now, right? Here it is. This is Wednesday Takes intro.
It's big gun, Brian Petrie coming weekly. Wednesday Takes, not a gamble when I ramble on my slime balls.
All right, so I won't do the whole thing. You've heard it before if you are Club 1K. That was the rapper Big Griff, right? He blew me away with that, right? I literally gave him the minimal instructions and he blew me away. So I had him do another one. Now I have the one you start the show with. You like it? I've had it forever. Paid $5 for it. The best $5 I've ever spent. However, time to switch up. So starting in January, new intro song. And you're not going to remember this because it's like a month away before we're going to see me again. I'll be doing Wednesday Takes and we have a month break. I'll be doing shows. You'll hear it. But I always like to start new, fresh, right? I'm not a big resolution guy, but I just feel like this year was like a 200% growth in the old BP train. You know what I mean? Thank you, John Ake and Kenny Florian. My own personal brand, which I hate saying that, but I have been encouraged to kind of, because all my stuff used to be MMA Takes Podcast. Now it's Brian Petrie MMA, Big Gun, whatever. So I've had to switch up a little bit, even though it's, I understand why, but it is what it is. But next year, we're gonna try things different editing, which you'll see in this video. There's gonna be a little bit different everything. I want you to hammer in the comments of what you like. Different intro video. My boy Justin Gonzalez, who is super talented, who made some logos for me just because he's a dope human. I've reached out to him, asked him to make a logo, a new logo for the show starting next year. And I'm geeked up, man. I love doing this shit. I don't get people think, I've been very lucky to be on the Anakin Florian. It's given me great exposure. I ain't getting paid. I've been offered some really weird stuff and I've turned it down because it's not about making money. It's about just keeping this the way I want it, not charging for picks, which is what the one thing that people keep coming up to me, put it behind a Patreon. No, we're doing this like this, babe. All right, real recap. I went 8-6 on my picks. My locks went for 3 for 3. So I kept it simple because I'm going to Vegas, spending a lot of money. We'll go over my bets that I'll make in Vegas here in a second. But 3 and 3 of my locks. Hit my send him home, Sergey Pavlovich. Hit my dog lock, Roman Dolce. Hit my mortal lock, RDA. Hit RDA by sub as well, which is a nice juicy number. Hit that parlay, missed the slime ball parlay. And then I had Angela Hill, which I should have put way more money on her because I was very confident in that fight. And then I had Clay Guida parlayed. Clay Guida by decision parlayed with Jonathan Pierce finish, which lost. Obviously, Pierce did not get a finish. Very close, but I'm up a little bit. So that's that. But Slimeball lost. Dead fucking dog. Dead dog walking. Francis Marshall hit. Yasmin hit. And then Kyle Daukaus blew it. It was my mistake. It was a bad read on Daukaus. I thought Eric Ainers was going to come in flat, whatever. Some incredible performances. The main event was awesome. Angel looked great. Rafael Dos Anjos looked great. Matt Schnell got a chin problem. Tai Tuivasa, take a year off, bro. Roma Delite, scary on the ground. That was very impressive. Eric, your boy, Anders, he looked good. Nico Price, fun fight with Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe's got that dog in him. Angel Hill looked like a world beater against him with Ducote. Good for Angel Hill. Clay Guida looked really good. He cut the lettuce, cut the hair. Guy's losing his hair left and right. He decided to cut it. Smart move, Clay. Still kind of got that weird curly mid-range length, right? But, I'm proud of you for cutting it. Mark Casey or Mike Johnson, that lost me $50. Thank you, Christian. Christian and I do a lot of bets between him and I've won like 50 in a row, and I was very confident in D1 to Casey getting it done. Michael Johnson easily won that. I saw some people trying to say to Casey won. You're out of your fucking mind. Michael Johnson won that clean. First round was close. Johnson took over the fight. Jonathan Pierce was by TKO is what I had. He almost had it. Darren Elkins just retired, man. Right off in the sunset. I don't want to see this guy fight anymore. Gennaro Valdez was Natan Levy. Was a great fight. Levy showed a lot of heart and toughness in there. Valdez got dropped like 10 times again, but he's super durable, tough. Francis Fire Marshall looked unbelievable. 23-year-old kid smashing Marcelo Rojo. And then Yasmin Yergi, I think that's how you pronounce it. Probably not. She looked amazing. She got buzzed, got up off the floor, and knocked out Estela Nunez. But you're here for the main event. Main event was awesome. Listen, I know a lot of people, and me myself included, don't like the high five and the buddy stuff, right? It's a fight. Get after it, right? I believe that. I want to see a fight. However, this was like, you're kind of gonna expect that because they were on each other's podcasts like a week before the fight. They've hung out, whatever. They've done things. They both seem like nice dudes, and this is just a sport. But in between the hugging and talking, Stephen Thompson was throwing wheel kicks to try to take his fucking head off. Like, there was no holding back. Like, that was a really high level fun fight, and it just showed levels to striking. Kevin Holland looked very amateur out there, landed one good right hand. I know he broke his right hand, but Stephen Thompson broke his left hand, and Stephen Thompson looked like aggressive Stephen Thompson, aggressive Wonder Boy. That's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? And I used to kind of shit on Wonder Boy a little bit because, like, I should be his fan, but it's like, he clearly ducked Rachmanov, but he admitted to it, right? And he always wants to call for strikers and this and that. And I get it, but sometimes you're like, you're also calling for the title. So if you weren't saying, give me a title shot, I would be all for you just fighting strikers and having fun fights. You're almost 40 years old, but you're still calling for a title shot. And it's like, you're not going to get it, because everyone ahead of you is grapplers and you refuse to fight them. So, but I should like this guy. His self-awareness is on point. He admitted he ducked Rachmanov. He got knocked out by Anthony Pettis. Did a video that was very funny a while ago. And even his comments after this fight were great. You know what I mean? So I don't know why I'm not a bigger fan of Wonder Boy. I should be. I think we all should be. Seems like a nice guy. I heard his dad's a complete asshole, but I heard he's a nice guy, extremely nice guy. So yeah, let's all be Wonder Boy fans here, huh? I'm just getting a stare at the old Club 1K here. Yeah. Hopefully all you people have it. Speaking of that, last thing before we get to the pick'ems, sorry for dragging this out. Everyone who won a 1K shirt, I think 3 or 4 people have reached out. Shirts are getting sent out tomorrow. I'm ordering them, or Thursday before I leave for Vegas. Sending them out. I was waiting till everyone gets, the 6 people that won. I think not all people have come forward yet, so I'm sending this out. All the people have reached out to me and got all your addresses, got all your sizes. Thank you very much for supporting the show. Getting sent out Thursday. Again, the shipping's a little long, so I apologize, especially for you West Coasters. There's a couple guys, Kieran Doherty. Shout out my guy Kieran. He is in Arizona. That's going to take about 2.5 months to get to you because this shipping is just terrible. All right, fight night, baby. UFC 282. So jacked to be in the building. This fight card has took some hits. OSP's off. He's looking for a fight. Ponzinibbio, Lawler off. We got Morono, Ponzinibbio. Main event obviously dropped out a while ago, and we got a new makeshift main event, but Patty's there. He's electric. Chris Curtis is there. There's some really good fights on this fight card. Let's get into it. Cameron Sayman. Is that how you pronounce his name? Simon? It might be Simon, but I'm going to say Cameron Sayman. Cameron Sayman, he is a minus 320 favorite versus Steven. Not Steve, Steven Kozlow. He is 8-0 plus 265. So Steven Kozlow, hard to find pictures of this guy. I mean, I've seen some of his fights, right? He's a grappler, wants to get you down, but he's fought fucking nobody. He's fought nobody. Cameron Sayman coming out of the Contender Series, won by knockout. South Africa is starting to really be a bubble that's popping with some really good fighters. They have a great organization down there and a lot of fighters. Justice du Plessis has come out of there. Don Madge, the guy who just Kennedy and Zekchukwu. He's from South Africa. He trains out of Texas. But anyway, a lot of fighters are coming out of here now, and Cameron Sayman's the one of them. He's well-rounded. He's a young kid. He looked good in the Contender Series. Fought in okay guys. Had a decent competition on his record. Cameron Sayman. It's a balloon number. We're big here. We're getting balloony for this newcomer, but Steven Kozlow, I just don't know much about him. Plus 265. He's fought dog shit people. He's looked good against dog shit people, but what is that? What does that mean, right? You know what I mean? If you've only eaten dog shit in your life, then you probably think it's pretty good food, but there's other options out there. I'm going Cameron Sayman here, minus 320. I don't like the number. I don't think I'm going to play this, but I'm in Vegas, so I'll probably play every fucking fight because I'm a degenerate. But give me Cameron Sayman here. I like maybe by finish. Could be knockout, could be on the ground. I think he probably would want to stay up because Kozlow is good on the ground, at least with the people he's fighting. And Sayman does have some power. He's well-rounded, though, this kid is. Don't know if a finish is going to come because Kozlow's undefeated. Hasn't been finished before. That really doesn't mean anything. But give me Cameron Sayman. Yeah, next up, Daniel Da Silva, plus 175 versus Vincius Salvatore, minus 205. So this name popped up, right, when I was tape studying. This Vincent Salvatore. And I'm like, who is this guy? It rings a bell, right? I believe there was a heavyweight like Vincius, Brazilian heavyweight, that was not good. And I'm like, well, this clearly isn't a heavyweight. I looked, went to his tape study. This kid put on, now it all's coming back to me. I'm sorry, I don't have the brain I used to. So this kid put on a performance, a fucking show on the Contender Series, beat a tough dude, dropped him a bunch and took some shots and looked fantastic. He's long for this division at 125. And Daniel Da Silva's 0-3 in the UFC. Now, this seems like a trap. I feel like they're trapping me. The line's low, 205, minus 205 for Salvatore, plus 175 for Daniel Da Silva. It's low. So I feel like I'm getting trapped. Because Daniel Silva's 0-3 in the UFC. I think he's been finished in all those. Has the bum been finished in all those? I know he doesn't have a UFC win. Yeah, Molina got him. Frankie Figs got him with a knee bar, and then Vittorio Altamirano knocked him out. So he's been finished in all three of his offerings. His one only loss was a shoulder injury coming in. Competition, okay. I mean, again, these Brazilians, you got to really look at the record because, they're fighting truck drivers. However, this is, again, a trap. Vincent Salvatore putting up a performance in the Contender Series. Everyone loves him. I feel like this line should be higher. Daniel Silva can't win in the UFC, gets finished by a fucking gust of wind. And here we are at minus 205. Give me Salvatore. I'll fall into the trap, right? Send him home. One of my locks, Slimeball parlay candidate. I'm all in on this kid. He looked that good. I rewatched it again today. It popped up. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember this kid. And I was like, well, I got to rewatch. Unbelievable. This is that low. Could be a trap. Speaking of traps, I had to tell the story because I'm an idiot. My father, he's going through some stuff, right? He's on short-term disability. Him and my mom, they're going through some stuff health-wise. He's getting back to it or whatever. He got a new TV, wanted a new TV stand. So needed my saw. So I went over there to saw some things for him. And in the garage, he has all these like mouse traps set up, like, because they had a mouse problem a while ago. I'm like, hey, can you show me? He's not there yet. He's not back to himself. He's still kind of mopey. And I was like, hey, can you tell me how to, set one of those mouse traps? Oh, yeah, sure. And he pulls it over and be very careful. You don't put your hand in this. And he brings it back and he sets it down really gently. He's like, that's all you do. And I smack my hand into it and it fucking closes on my hand. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Didn't hurt. Not even a little bit. So whenever I keep thinking of traps, I'm thinking of that. And also, Christian and Timbo aren't with me on this pay-per-view week because I'm recording Tuesday afternoon. The only way it could work out, I'm leaving for the weekend. I got a family. I got fucking T's to cross and I's to cross, and very busy season for my work as well. So a lot of things are moving. So I unfortunately had to record during the day. They're very busy guys. Timbo's going to be a father soon. He's also out there murdering people. He's a government hitman. And then Christian's obviously same business I'm in. He's busy. So unfortunately, we couldn't link up. This last pay-per-view year, it sucks that we couldn't link up. But obviously maybe next card, maybe the next one. We got one more card this year. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see how our schedules that up. Sorry for that tangent. Vincent Salvatore, hammer the number. All right, next up, you got Eric Silva versus TJ Brown, -110 versus -110. Straight pick them, boys. Pick your poison. So TJ Brown has burned me in the past. Eric Silva, 35-year-old, coming in with a Contender Series experience. I don't love that. A little long in the tooth. Very good on the ground. Rear naked chokes out the yin yang. TJ Brown, a pretty good grappler himself. Pretty well built. Don't know if he's in Krause's gym for this one because people are saying, Krause is going through all that shit. You know what I mean? Apparently he's got his phone, laptop, computer confiscated, not looking good. So I'm not sure if TJ Brown is still at that gym or if he's back in Arkansas with Brock Mitchell. Either way, I'm good to go Silva here, strictly based on the fact that TJ Brown has burned me. His striking's okay. His chin's okay, or his chin's not okay. Excuse me. His striking's okay. His grappling's okay. Cardio seems like he's fixed it a little bit. He's good in the scrambles, but I just feel like Eric Silva is one of those like specialists. Like he can get you down. He can cause some problems. And I think TJ Brown's takedown defense is not good. I don't think his takedowns are that good. I think Silva would be more than happy to go to the ground any way he can get it, either him on top or him on the back. I don't love this fight. This is a fight that I probably will pass on. You know what? I can't. I'm in Vegas. I can't. I keep saying that. I'm not going to pass. I'll go Silva by submission, which will be a better number. This is a pick 'em fight, but give me Silva by submission, which I don't have that number in front of me because it's early in the week, but Silva by submission is what I'll probably play. Put a couple shekels on it. We're talking 20, 25 bucks. I ain't going to get crazy on that one. All right, next up, we got Billy Q, -165 versus Alexander Hernandez, +140. Man, Alexander the Great came into the UFC, knocked out Benny Dariush, and everyone thought, man, this kid's fucking nails. He's lights out. He's 5-4 in the UFC since then. Got knocked around by Renato Moicano. I mean, look at his wins in the UFC, right? Besides Benny Dariush. He's got to win over Benny Dariush. Cool. Got to win over Olivier Aubin-Mercier, who just won the PFL. Congratulations, OAM. Decision win. Close fight. Did he win? Lost to Donald Cerrone, where that was the fight they pushed him. They put him on the press conference. He was wearing that ugly ass fucking sweater, talking all that good shit, and gets smoked by Cowboy. Then he gets in there against old Uncle T, Grandpa Trinaldo, the dad from Friday. Decision victory. Did he really win? Then he gets out there, smoked out by Drew Dober in the second round, knocks out Chris Grutzmacher. Okay, loses Thiago Moises, one-sided fight, beats Mike Breeden overhand right, and then gets absolutely dog-walked by Renato Moicano in their fight. So now he's fighting Billy Q. Billy Q, when I think of Billy Q, I think of scrappy. This dude wants to scrap. His cardio is unreal. Coming off the Shane Burgos loss. Before that, he has a win over Gabriel Benitez. The Burgos was a very, very close fight. It was just Burgos was hitting him harder, essentially what it was. But Billy Q was constantly moving forward, wasn't taking a step back. His grappling's good. His pressure's good. And just his overall game is pretty good. I don't think he excels anywhere. And in MMA, you don't have to be the best boxer, but if you put it together right, you're good. And his cardio is elite. Cardio breaks guys. And Hernandez likes to play on his back foot and likes to counter. He thinks he's this big power puncher, right? He's going down to 145 here. And is this 45, right? Yeah, it's 45. Yeah, he's going down to 145 here, so he's going to lose a little bit of his muscle mass. Probably going to maybe lose some speed as well, coming from 55. I just don't think he's this power puncher that he's made out to be. He knocked out Benny Dariush, which was a fucking Hail Mary. Knocked out Mike Breeden, who gives a shit. Knocked out Chris Grutzmacher, who gives a shit. I don't see him touching Billy Q here. This is a really low price on Billy Q at -165. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Billy Q money line here. I don't know if you want to play with a parlay. This is low enough to be a straight wager, right? Either way, I like Billy Q in this fight. I think he's just going to outpace, outwork, outdog Alex Hernandez. So give me Billy Q. All right, next up, fight that I might spend 6 fucking hours on. I did the Anakin Florian today, and I'm always very conscious on the Anakin Florian to not over talk, to not talk too much, because you want to hear from Kenny, you want the insight on Kenny. But then we did the Chris fight. I had pages and pages and pages of things I want to say. I really condensed it. I don't know how great it was. I got to watch it back. Anyway, Chris Curtis +135 versus Hakeem Buckley -155. So you know who I'm picking, right? You know who I'm picking, and you know that I'm gonna lock him up.
Hello? Okay, this is Dog.
Okay, the dog. Chris Curtis is my guy, right? This is my guy. I've seen him fight a bunch of times. I've trained with him, blah, blah, blah. Broken record. I DM'd him about coming to Vegas. He invited me to his team dinner after the weigh-ins. What a kind, generous guy. Probably won't go. It's kind of a team thing. I don't want to kind of interrupt the chemistry. Don't really know those guys. I want him to kind of just go and focus, because I'll just sit there and go, the West Vegas fight. Huh? He having fun. I just fucking stare at him like, so I'm going to let him do his thing. But hopefully we'll link up on fight day after he knocks out Buckley. So we got Joaquin Buckley here, and I've been studying Joaquin Buckley since this fight got announced. And I just, overall, I'm not overly impressed. Like, his footwork is pretty good, which a lot of people think that's going to give Chris problems. His kicking and his punching are just all big actions, very powerful stuff, but they're just big. You can read them. Look at the Imanov fight. Imanov read him until he got slow, until he gassed, and then he started getting clipped by some of those shots. He's just a powerful dude who surprisingly has really good cardio for his size. Him and Chris are built very similarly. I think, don't tell Chris this, but I think Buckley probably has a little bit more man muscle than Chris does. A little more shreddy, right? But this is a bit of a bad blood situation here. Chris, after the Adolfo Vieira fight, was at his press conference. Not his press conference, excuse me, the scrum with the media after the fight. And Buckley, someone's like, hey, Buckley called you out. And he goes, that's weird. He was just in Vegas with me for 2 weeks, right? Like, maybe it's because of the what's that Russian's name? What's that Russian's name, Brian, that Buckley beat? What's the Russian's name? You got it. I don't got it. I gotta look it up. Fuck. Durev. Albert Durev is also a Vegas guy. So maybe when they fought, Chris took Durev's side because he's still in the gym. But right when he got called out, Buckley was just in the gym for a couple weeks sparring with those guys, getting tips from Eric Nixick, the coach. So Chris was like, I don't really care about that right now, but I know my guy. I know that burned him up a little bit. I know that burned him up just a little bit, chapped his ass. Can't blame him, right? Can't blame the guy. And then there apparently has been some texts or messages exchanged where they're not going to go for takedowns or something like that. Doesn't really matter. I think Chris is the cleaner boxer here. I think his defense is very, very good. As long as he doesn't fight emotional like we did with the Ray Cooper fight and get clipped, I think he's going to be okay. I want to see him mix it up more. When Chris, you look at the Contender Series fight where he didn't get the contract, he won by hook kick knockout over Sean Lally. And early in his MMA career, when I was in the gym with him, he had some great kicks. I like to see him kick a little more. I think that can slow down the footwork because Chris is a little planting, a little flat-footed, kind of moves forward, cuts the cage off okay, but he is a little flat-footed because he's in such a heavy boxing stance. I like to see him in that boxing stance just throwing kicks as well, mixing kicks up as well. He didn't throw kicks forever because he would get taken down. That was the biggest Achilles heel, was guys would just take him down and smother him. He hasn't given up a takedown in the UFC. And with Buckley reaching out going, make an agreement, no takedown, I don't think Chris, and I will put any amount of money on this, I don't think Chris is taking anyone down. Buckley's going to take him down. That might be some mind game shit. Buckley is for sure going to try to take him down if he gets hurt. And that's another thing. He's been hurt a lot. He's been knocked out a lot. Chris has been knocked out once in his career. Buckley's been knocked out 3, right? Chin isn't something I would say durable. Now, Chris came in the UFC, lit it up, knocked out Phil Halls, knocked out Brendan Allen. People thought he's in the first round, thought he was a big, or Brendan Allen's the second round, big power puncher. He's this big power puncher. Chris has power, right? He's built like that. 185, he's moved up, he's got power, but he's more accumulation punches, touch the body, right? Touch the head. He's just going to touch and defend and touch and defend. The one thing I like this fight a lot for Chris is that Buckley is not a great counter fighter. He moves very well and he's very good leading, but when you push him against a cage and you pressure him, he's going to wind up and throw big shots, leave himself open. He's not the defensive fighter when he's countering or trying to counter because he's not a good counter fighter. Chris Hopefully we'll expose that. We'll march forward. I said this in the Anakin Florian podcast. I'm gonna say it here. I'm not a big unit guy. I'm a 1-2 unit kind of player. I don't go all in much, right? My biggest unit was six units on Izzy over Jan. Blew up in my face. This is a 10 unit play. This is a 10 unit fucking play on Chris Curtis here at dog money plus 135. The number keeps going up. Money's coming in on Buckley. This is a big play. This is a big play for your boy. One of the first things I'm gonna do in Vegas, I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna fucking take some photos for the paparazzi. I'm just joking. Shoot some thumbs up to the kids, and then I'm gonna place a wager, a 10 unit wager on Chris Curtis. That's how confident I am. That's what I'm gonna fucking do. Chris Curtis wins this fight. Dog lock, obviously. I want to say he knocks him out in the third round because he's gonna touch the body, and he only gets better when the fight gets longer. You look at his record, he's got so many knockouts in the second, third, fourth, fifth round when he would fight 5-round fights outside the UFC. That's kind of what he does. He touches the body, wears you down. Joaquin Buckley's a tough dude. Don't think his chin's that great, but he is tough. And he's training with that good camp, Jamal Hill. Those guys in Michigan. I think is he in Michigan or St. Louis guy? I can't remember. Anyway, doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter where you're from. You're going to get smoked out. I like Chris. I don't know if I'm going to touch a prop in this fight. Definitely money line. But I like Chris big here. Dog lock him up, babe. Woo! Chris Curtis, let's go. I'm gonna be an absolute nervous wreck when that fight happens. All right, Edmund Shabazzian, minus 280 versus Dolce. Lugalabula. He is a plus 235. This is a get-right fight for Edmund. Dolce is a big, powerful dude who has one way to win, and that's knock you out. He tries to take people down. His takedowns aren't great. He's bricked up. He's got muscles on his fucking teeth. You know, he could probably try to take Edmund down. That's been a source in the past where Edmund's been put on his back and he's looked bad. I think that's going to be the strategy here for this big underdog. Edmund was the rage. Edmund was the guy next up. He left Tavarian. He left Glendale, California. He's in Vegas now. He's getting some good training. I've heard good things about him. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, though, right? Derek Brunson, ground and pound, round 3. Jack Hermanson, decision. And then Nasruddin Imanov, elbows in the second round. So 3 elite guys, right? Hasn't fought in over a year, takes some time off to work himself. His wins aren't that great, right? Antonio Jones in the Contender Series, then we got Darian Stewart by split, which he completely gassed out, thought he lost that fight. Knockout of Charles Byrd, and then a rear naked choke over Jack Marchman. Those wins aren't great, but the talent's there. You see it on the screen. So I'm going to go Edmund here. I don't like the price. The pricing because Dolce is very limited. And Edmund does still have that upside. I'm hoping that he's taking it seriously because the biggest issue with Edmund's been his cardio. Dolce doesn't have cardio either, right? Both these guys might be gassed, thrown wild, not there around. It might be a fucking puke fest. But I like Edmund here just based on the fact that he has talent. And again, I'm not going to say I'm not going to bet this fight, but I'm going to bet it because I'm going to be, it's going to be Edmund. Edmund, a knockout, TKO, submission. I'll have to, this is Tuesday. I'll have to laser that in. Picks Edmund. Little high. Maybe you can throw this in a parlay. You can throw it in a Hail Mary parlay. Throw it in the scraps parlay when you're down to your final, like a couple shekels. You're like, what can I do here? Get a bang for your buck. Throw Edmund in a parlay. I don't know. All right, next up, Jay Perrin, plus 200 versus Raul Rosas Jr., minus 240. Rosas Jr. 17. Is he 18 now? This kid got a lot of shit. He's not the best looking kid in the world, right? He looks like Squidward, whatever, but he's a mature guy that went out there. A lot of these young guys, they don't develop their man muscles yet. And if you don't know what man muscles are, just take one look at your boy here and my elbow pop. That's man muscle. But he handled his Contender Series fight well. Now, Jared Perrin's a guy who I believe he's from Boston. Is he from Boston? Let me see Jay Perrin. Massachusetts. That's what I thought. 0-2 in the UFC. Or Lichalong beat him in Mario Batista. So he's lost to some decent guys. I don't know a ton. I didn't really cap this fight all that well. I'm going to go Rosas Jr. I'm going to go the young kid, minus 240. I think that's a little high, obviously. He's got a lot of hype around him. Young kid in the UFC. Still has a ton of ways to go. His stand-up is nowhere near where it needs to be, but he is a good grappler. I think he can take Jay down. Jay fancies some of his grapplers. Well, we're going to find out. I think this is going to be a fun fight. I think this is going to be a scrappy back-and-forth fight on the ground. I think The one thing that Rosas Jr. has for him is he does have that cardio. I think Jay Perrin, this is a big fight for him. He doesn't want to lose this young kid. And this young kid's got a lot of heat. And Jay Perrin's 0-2. You lose, you're probably cut from the UFC. Big fight for Perrin. So I would look at Perrin as a dog if you're in the dog hunting business, right?
Hello?
You're in the dog hunting business. I'm gonna go Rosas Jr. I'm gonna go chalk because it's not a nuts on the table kind of bet. I'm gonna go Rosas Jr. I don't love it, but I think I'm gonna bet him by decision. I think this would be a prop play by decision. I don't necessarily know. His jiu-jitsu didn't look great on the contenders. I know it's supposed to be great. Didn't look great in the contenders where I think he can go out there and just smoke Perrin out here, and Perrin is decent on the ground. So give me Rosas Jr. by decision. I think he's just going to be overwhelming. That's my thing. But I think it's going to be a fun scrap on the ground. There's going to be a lot of scrambles here, a lot of close calls, a lot of, maybe he's a rear naked choke, maybe he's a guillotine, situations like that. But I do see Rosas Jr. just being a little bit better in the scrambles. The number's absurd, though. Minus 240 is a little crazy, but I'll play it by decision. All right, next up. We got Jairzinho Rosenstrike, minus 170 versus Chris Daukaus, plus 145. Broke this down in the Ink and Florian, which isn't out yet. We had some technical difficulties. Recorded today, about an hour ago, and we had some technical difficulties. John, Ray, me and Kenny were solid, but Cody's got to clean that shit up. Producer to stars, Cody Merrill's got to clean that shit up. John's internet went out. He had to go from his phone at the end of the show. It was a fucking disaster. John Anik was ready to kill somebody. But we got it done. We got our picks in, but this is one of the fights we picked. So if you watch that before you watch this or vice versa, I may repeat myself for these final fights, but I literally just did it an hour ago, so I haven't really had new fresh thoughts, so I apologize. Podcast juice. Get you 60% on the year. All right. Big boys. They need to win. Both these guys need to win. Jairzinho coming off a knockout. Chris Daukaus coming off 2 knockouts, losses, by the way. And they need wins. How good is Daukaus wrestling is what this fight comes down to. Is he good? He's jiu-jitsu. He has a black belt, but I fucking feel like everyone's a black belt. When I said that was right. So how good is his wrestling? Jairzinho Rosenstrike, I know he's a kickboxer. At least he says he is. I mean, he hasn't fucking shown it. He's so boring in there when he stands up. He has incredible power. If you have that power and you're so timid, what are you waiting for? Just go. If you just graze somebody, you're going to put him out with your power. I don't know why he's always stuck in mud. I feel like he's getting the message. He can't be stuck in mud. He's got to go. And Daukaus is confident, might be a little shaky here. He got knocked out by 2 beasts, right? Literally the Black Beast and then Curtis Blades. And there's no shame in losing to those guys, but you got to be a little worried about your confidence. So I think if Daukaus put in a really good camp where he comes out and wants to wrestle and try to use his jiu-jitsu, he could win this fight. Plus 145 is a good number. I just think when he does that, he's going to get caught with something. I think Jairzinho has exceptional power. I think he's got that weird fucking power. That's a problem. And so, I'm going to go Jairzinho here. I'm going to go minus 170. Again, I don't have the best feel for this fight, if I'm being honest with you. I'll go Jairzinho by knockout. We'll see what that prop is. Probably not great because, literally it's probably the only way he's going to win. He might win a boring decision. Daukaus might come out there and play it safe because he's been chinning his last 2 fights. But, I don't know. I think 3 rounds, I think you're going to get caught by Rosenstrike eventually. So Jairzinho Rosenstrike by knockout. That is the play. All right, next up, Bryce Mitchell, Arkansas Strong, plus 115 versus Ilia Topuria, minus 135. One of my favorite fights on the card, if not the favorite. What an absolute banger. I watched the ESPN little thing they put out where they were spotlighting both guys. These guys couldn't be more different, right? But by the way, Bryce Mitchell, for a guy that's, listen, I don't want to dismiss Arkansas. He's from Searcy, Arkansas, right? I don't want to dismiss guys from Arkansas. He lives his lifestyle the way he lives it, right? Country guy, gets on Instagram and yells at people for not plucking their own fucking ducks or whatever. Anyway, got a hot girlfriend. He met her online. He said, I don't know if she's from Arkansas, but he's got a trailer. They live in together and they're eating one. She's fucking hot. And Bryce Mitchell's not an ugly guy. I just didn't think he'd be getting fucking chicks like that, but I digress. Incredible fighter, throwback fighter. This guy wants to do one thing. He wants to get you down. He wants to take you down and smother you. He's got good submissions. His ground and pound's coming a long way. His striking's coming a long way. He's getting a little more confident. He dropped that in Barboza. Topuria, though, is just lights out everywhere. It really is. Greco-Roman background, really dynamic striking, big, powerful, speed for days. My biggest concern is, this guy has turned down some fights because of weight issues. He popped up to 55 to fight Jai Herbert, and got buzzed, got dropped, ended up coming back and winning a knockout, showed his heart, which is great, but got clipped, right? And I think it was because he was taking it a little lightly. And then he's turned down fights. He turned down this Bryce Mitchell fight not too long ago because he couldn't make 45, but he's flashing his abs on Instagram. So, I like to get into the weeds of things, and I just don't know if Topuria is all in right now. I think he's drinking his own juice. You know what I mean? I think he stayed in Spain and didn't go to American Top Team. Name a fighter coming out of Spain, right? I mean, I saw the training footage. I don't know who his coaches are. I don't know who he's fighting with. Does that matter when you're an exceptional talent? No, but going to American Top Team and getting reps with those guys, that's going to matter when you fight a guy like Bryce Mitchell, where I think he might be taking him a little lightly. I think, I don't want to put words in his head or mouth or however that expression goes, but he wants to fucking go out there and make a steam, run through Bryce Mitchell. And I don't think that's going to happen. Bryce is tough. Bryce is crafty, man. He's strong. His cardio is great. He gets on top of you. It's hard to get up. I don't think he'll submit to Topuria, but he'll smother him. And how good is Topuria's cardio? We've seen him go 3 rounds once against Yusuf Law. Looked okay. Looked good. He wrestled a lot in that fight. So I think his cardio checks out. But that's before everyone started sucking on his dick. That's before MMA Twitter crowned him as the champion. Like, how is he? Like, how? There's a lot of questions I have, here. Undefeated fighter, and I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell with the dog shot here.
Okay, this is dog.
I don't love it. I like it. I've been flip-flopping back and forth. This is the hardest fight for me to pick on the card. And I think I'm comfortable with Bryce Mitchell. I don't think I'm going to switch. I think that's what it is. I think Bryce Mitchell is going to have a pretty tough first round. He's got to be careful. He's got to watch out for everything, get hit, whatever. You got to be on his P's and Q's, but he's got to get this fight down. He's got to make it ugly. He's got to grind on this guy because this guy can knock you out any second. His striking is that good, but I think this is going to be the best thing for Topuria. This will be a wake-up call. I'm not saying he's not training hard, and I could be wrong, by the way. I'm saying all this negative stuff to try to fit my narrative of why I'm picking Bryce Mitchell. I could be 1,000% wrong. He could be training with absolute studs and be the best fighter in the world. I'm trying to justify this dog pick here, okay? So I definitely could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I'll come back on this camera and I'll say, I was fucking wrong. Topuria is the man. That's the game we play. I don't get my feelings hurt when I'm wrong. But my narrative that I'm pushing is I do think Topuria, might be a little distracted outside the cage just from some of the things that are kind of adding up. So give me Bryce Mitchell. Let's go. Darren Till, my guy. Plus 155 versus Justice Du Plessis, minus 180. This line has jumped crazy. I saw Du Plessis at minus 180. When John originally gave me the lines on Sunday night, it was Darren Till was like minus 125. Du Plessis was like minus 145, 155. This line's moving in a good way for us. Obviously, I'm a Till guy. I'm picking Till. Spoiler alert. Dog shot.
Okay, this is dog.
Justice Du Plessis, though, like we were mentioned earlier at Sayman, he's coming from South Africa. In South Africa, they're starting to get some real good competition. And this is a guy that's traveled the world to fight people. 7-2. He has a win over Roberto Soldic. It has a loss over him, too, who everyone outside of the UFC thinks he's the greatest middleweight in the world. I think he's very good. I don't think he touches Izzy, but he's very good. Or Pereira, I guess. Pereira is the man right now, but I'll just compare him to Izzy. I'm gonna get emails. I get DMs, not emails. Who emails anymore, right? I would get DMs about this guy going, hey, well, check out Roberto Soldic. And I looked at him, signed one, got the nut shot last weekend, is what it is. But Justice Du Plessis has a win over him. This guy's nails. He's good. He's really well-rounded. You look at his fights and he's powerful. He hits very, very hard, and then he can take you down. Mixes things up really well. He's not a submission threat, in my opinion. But listen, Darren Till, when he gets on his back, it feels like he kind of just gives up, right? So I'm a little worried about that. But he's been training at Sweden for the better part of 9 months, right? Then he finishes camp in Thailand. When you go to these places, you have to work, right? You have to get in shape. There's a picture of Darren Till probably a month ago at Tiger Muay Thai where he looked in really bad shape. It got me concerned because I said, bro, you're a month out or what? It might have been over a month. And that could have been an old picture. It was just something I was posting. But I'm like, you're not looking great, because we all saw how he looked against Derek Brunson. Came in with an injury, looked like just dead water, no takedown offense whatsoever. So if he comes in like that, he comes in unmotivated, injured, just getting a fight, he's going to get smoked out. He's going to get smoked out. I need the aggressive, confident Darren Till who has that sharpshooter left hand, because du Plessis rushes in a lot. Big power, rushes in with his chin up. A good counter striker, enter Darren Till, can capitalize on, can land something. And I think he'll land something on du Plessis. Darren Till, though, if you look at his footage, not the greatest finisher. Got a lot of drops. Dropped Jorge Masvidal, couldn't finish him. Dropped Wonder Boy, couldn't finish him. Dropped that Russian guy early in his career, forget his name, but he went to PFL, I can't remember his name. Dropped him like a bunch of times, couldn't finish him. He's got a win over Donald Cerrone, which is great, but a finish over Donald Cerrone. But who else has Darren Till finished, right? Dropped Robert Whittaker in their fight, couldn't finish him. Did not drop Kelvin Gastelum, right? Dropped Stephen Thompson. The only finish he's got is Donald Cerrone. Borjan Velicic was who I was thinking about. He knocked out dropped Justin Aran and Nicholas Dalby, and he finished Wendell Oliveira early in his UFC career. My point being is he is not this huge power puncher. He can drop you, he can hurt you, and I think he could hurt du Plessis, but I don't see a finish. I see Darren Till being methodical. I see him being technical, because if you look at the Robert Whittaker fight, that was a chess match for 5 rounds. I originally scored it for Till because I'm a fucking home biasy kind of guy. Rewatched it a bunch of times. Robert Whittaker won that fight, right? But it was competitive, very competitive. They both dropped each other one time. I need that Darren Till, because I think Darren Till is way more technical du Plessis, and I think he's going to have a better time finding that left hand if he's patient. So I'm going Darren Till, of course, plus 155. I'm going to go money line. I'll probably go by decision. I don't think he's going to finish du Plessis. I'm terrified du Plessis is going to put him on his back. Hopefully Darren Till's worked. And I have the right to change. Now, I'm not here. Here's my deal. Darren Till's one of my guys. I am not going to change my pick. My pick will be Darren Till, but I got to see the weigh-ins. I got to see how Till looks, and I'll tweet out what my play is, right? My pick is Till, but I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to hedge. I'm trying to, whatever, Darren Till. All right, Santiago Ponzinibbio was supposed to fight Robbie Lawler. He's fighting Alex Morono. No line is out right now. Don't know the line. Basically what it is, Morono, catch weight 180. I've doubted this guy his entire career. He's a coach. He's smart. He's well-rounded. I thought he was a little chinny. He's been proving me wrong lately. I'm going Santiago Ponzinibbio by knockout. Why change now? I'm dug in, okay? And I'm not going to change. I'm going to keep betting Morono loses by knockout until it finally fucking happens for me. He's been knocked out before. Ponzinibbio was a big, powerful guy. He's been in the full camp. Morono hasn't. Catch weight at 180. Morono's not the biggest 170. He's awkward. He's got weird boxing. He's got weird timing. But Ponzinibbio is a knockout puncher. And I think he catches him. I think he touches his leg a little bit. And give me Ponzi. Give me Ponzi, baby. Ponzi scheme by knockouts to play. Coming in at Patty Pimblett, minus 250 versus Jarrett Gordon, plus 210. Patty the Batty, I love him. I know people, listen, when people like me or, well, I'm not going to compare myself to anybody because the people I'm going to compare myself to are way more established than me. But when MMA cappers or commentators or whoever you want to call us, if they like Patty, and the biggest question I get from Patty, is he good? Is he going to be champion? I don't know. Probably not, if I'm being honest. He'll probably get a shot. I think his skills are getting better, but he's young, right? But they're limited, right? His stand-up is still wild. He's good on the ground, but how good is his wrestling? Can he get it there? His chin is up in the air quite a bit with his striking. There's obviously flaws in his game, but that doesn't take away the fact that he's an absolute superstar, electric factory that everyone wants to watch. And I'm glad he got the co-main event spot here because it's a good matchup for him. UFC is giving this guy favors. They know what they have. I will probably be wearing a Patty wig in Vegas. I'm not gonna lie, depending on how much they cost. I mean, I'm not gonna spend over $20. Well, yeah, $25. Anyway, Jarrett Gordon been knocked out a few times, and I predicted Patty to knock out the last two guys, and he hasn't. He's used his ground game, right? How many fights does he have in the UFC? I know I predicted him to knock out Jordan Levitt, and it went to the ground because I thought they'd cancel on the ground and he knocked him out. They went to the ground, missed on the knockout there. Then, Rodrigo Vargas. I don't think I predicted that. So it was just Jordan Levitt because he knocked out Luigi Venturini with hooks, big, powerful shots. So Jared Gordon's been knocked out before. His boxing is it's good, but it's slow. He's going to want to really push this to get to the ground because Patty's big Achilles heel in his career has been getting put on his back, stuff there. That was at 145. He's had a couple ugly, listless losses, but I think that, working in San Diego, Justin Flores, and working with the right people and training with the right people, I think that that's out of the table. I think when Kenny broke down, spoiler, he thinks they are going to grapple, and he thinks Patty's going to have the upper hand. Patty is very offensively. He's offensive jiu-jitsu player, likes to get to the back, very good grappler. And Patty's going to welcome the grappling for sure. I think that he's going to come out exploding, co-main event, wants to tear the roof off this place. I think he's going to hurt Jared Gordon with some shots. Patty has really good kicks. His defense and his punches and shit in there worry me a little bit, but he is explosive. He is powerful. Patty Pimblett to play here. Slime ball candidate as well. And he is Patty by knockout. I'll probably play him a couple different ways, but by knockout is what I like right now. All right, main event, Jan Blachowicz plus 235 versus Magomed Ankalaev minus 280. So I don't want to pull receipts like I'm the only one that called Ankalaev being a world champion. Didn't get it under the circumstances he wanted to, but it is what it is. I'm very bummed I don't get to see Yuri versus Glover. Their first fight was my fight of the year. I want to see greatness. I think Yuri's a great fighter. I really, truly do. I think he's a special guy. And Glover only has a handful of more fights left. So it'd been really special to see him fight live. So it sucks. It sucks that they're out, but it is what it is. I like this main event. They're, the UFC stacks their card this way to kind of place a main event like this, fighting for a title. Yuri was like, nah, I'm out for a while. Give it up. I'll come back and win it. I kind of like that, right? None of this interim shit, right? This is my decision. I'm giving it up. Blachowicz just surprised me. Obviously, I've lost 6 units on him against Izzy in a fight where that surprised me. But, and he looked good against Alexander Rekic. He looked not great against Glover. I think Glover outmanned him. I think Glover surprised him. Glover took him down at will, and Jan didn't do anything. And on the feet, he got buzzed a little bit, got taken down again, just gave up rear naked choke. Ankalaev is a man. This is a man. His one blemish is that Paul Krieg submission at like 1 second left. He's learned from that. His striking's on point. People, when he goes to Vegas, at that gym in Vegas, people rave about this guy. Work ethic. They rave about his power. This was supposed to be a 3-round fight. Now it's a 5-round fight. I get it. John is very durable. He's got good grappling, good striking, but that ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter in this fight because he ain't touching Ankalaev on the ground. He ain't getting him there. And on the feet, even though I underestimate Jan's boxing, which is it's herky-jerky, Izzy has described it as very off timing, so it kind of confuses you. Ankalaev is very straight with his punches, and he's very fast. So I don't want to underestimate Jan too much, but Ankalaev is my mortal lock here. I gave you a mortal lock of a minus 540. Rafael dos Anjos last week. Not many people are giving that out, baby. However, I did give you out sub as well. I thought he was going to sub Brian Barberina. I feel like I'm seeing the board well. So I'm giving Ankalaev. He's a slime ball parlay can as well. My mortal lock. I want to say he finishes late. Jan is tough. Tougher than a $2 steak is what they say. But he could win in just a decision because there's times where Ankalaev, he's just a little plays it safe a little too much, right? So let me recap real quick before we get out of here. My locks are mortal lock, Ankalaev, dog lock, Chris Curtis, send him home, Vincia Salvatore. That's a great parlay. I'll be playing that lock parlay, right? I'll give that on social media. I usually don't give that out on social media because it's just kind of the slime ball. I'll tweet that out the day of the fights. Slime ball parlay. Ready? You got your pen and paper? Leg 1, Vincent Salvatore. He sounds Italian, but he's Brazilian. I think this kid's good. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a rat trap game, but I'm going right into the rat trap. Don't give a fuck. That's leg 1. Second fight of the night, Leg 2, Patty the Batty. Pow, 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 pow. I just think he matches up well with Jared Gordon here. I don't see a dud. Co-main event. He looks to be in tremendous shape. Good matchup for him. I hope he doesn't lay an egg, because if he lays an egg in a Kona main event, last pay-per-view of the year, even though I think he's a great guy, this is going to be a little bit of a setback, right? But after this fight, gloves are off. You got to start fighting some real high-level guys at 55. But give me Patty the Batty, and then my mortal lock, and Kalaya. That's a sign ball parlay. It's plus 180. Whew. Plus 180 is not bad. Plus 180 is not bad. Now, you could add Chris Curtis at, plus 135 and get a juicier number. You could add in people. That's what I say. I give out the slime ball as just kind of a base level. Some people ride with it, some people don't. One guy goes, hey, I took out Daukaus, I put in Rowe. That guy's a fucking sharp, because I lost, he won. So make with it what you will. I'm very confident in this. I think I'm seeing the board, boys, really fucking well here. And I love my locks, and I love my slime ball. Watch me go 0-14, or how many fights we got. Watch me not miss. Watch me not fucking win a goddamn fight. All right, that's it. That's the show. Get your Club 1K shirts. Link in the bio. If you're in Vegas, come holler at me. DMs. I've never said come holler at me before. I know that's like a 2005, 2004 saying. So I apologize. I just dated myself. Slide in the DMs. Hit me up. We'll link up in Vegas. I'll be all over with my buddy. We'll be hanging out. Obviously, fights on Saturday as well. We're there all day Sunday too. You want to come have lunch? You want to come drink? You want to come hang out? I don't really drink, but I might have a beer. You want to come hang out at the sports book? Whatever. That's it. Go follow me on all social media at Brian Petrie MMA. That's it. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go.